Hello StarCraft fans, this is FalconPaladin coming to you with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. This is a game between WhiteRa and MouLou on Dash and Terminal, the latter edition. Hey, guess what? WhiteRa finally got back to me with replays. I really appreciate it. He is my favorite Ukrainian professional StarCraft 2 player. And let's get right on into it. In the top of Dash and Terminal, the latter edition, this is the red Protoss player. It is WhiteRa. And in the right side of Dash and Terminal, the latter edition, we have the blue Terran player. It is MouLou, representing NB. Now again, this is a replay that WhiteRa sent in as part of a large replay pack. So they include both wins and losses. So please don't feel that because WhiteRa sent me this replay, you know for sure that he's going to win, because that is not necessarily the case. This is a very high level that WhiteRa is playing at. This Terran player is very capable of beating him. I don't know who this MouLou person is, but they're in Legacy of the Void ladder. They're at this level. They have to be pretty fantastic. APM. Let's take a look at this real quick. The Terran player is spamming like crazy. 300 APM currently for an average of 192 for the session so far. WhiteRa throwing down a pretty darn good 177 himself, pushing up into the 300 range as time dictates. So again, watching that production tab for most of the time, but just to keep in mind, these guys are moving very quickly. They're making good decisions. You can't get this far as a Terran player without knowing what you're doing. A lot of people have considered Terran to be underpowered as of late. I am just going to say I don't think that's the case. I feel like Terran players who try to use Marine, Marauder, Medevac, and some Widow Mines in there like they did in Heart of the Swarm and just face roll are not able to do that anymore in Legacy of the Void. There are things to counter it. There are lurkers, there are disruptors. Two things that handle that particular composition fairly well. So if you're a Terran player, use those Liberators, use those Cyclones. They're very handy, they're very useful against your Protoss and your Zerg opponents, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. So we will see if MouLou plans to do this or not. It is a Reaper expand play, Reaper off of that orbital command being thrown down, rather command center, being pushed down here. It looks like the Reaper wants to kill this probe. WhiteRa recognizes that, and he's going to start running for his life now. Indeed, getting down that ramp, running as far away as humanly possible. The Reaper is going to try to catch it. It's a car chase. In StarCraft 2, the Reaper is faster. He's going to catch up, getting shots off. The shot does slow the Reaper down temporarily, but the probe trying to run for its life, nope, ends up dead. Instead, the Reaper moving on out to try to scout out the Protoss base, taking an unorthodox trajectory. Track? I was going to say track and trajectory at the same time to get there, coming up from the low ground from the gold base that can be taken, getting right on up into the main. And what is here for WhiteRa? Mothership core is on the way. KD8 charge being used might actually kill another probe here, and indeed it does. The Stalker chasing it away. The Reaper wants to get one more probe kill, ends up getting a third one, and escapes with its life. Look at that Reaper play. I know I have decried the Reaper opening in the past, but I think that was worth it. I think there was some lost mining time for WhiteRa. He got 3 kills, didn't end up dying himself. This Reaper is an MVP Reaper as far as I'm concerned in the Legacy of the Void beta. Coming in again. Is he going to get another one? No, photon overcharge. Yeah, that's the problem with the Reapers. If the Protoss player goes for a photon or for a mothership core fast enough, they can get 2 photon overcharges out on these pylons, making them deal 30 damage per hit for 11 seconds. And that is enough to deal a ton of damage to a Reaper and pretty much punch him in the face and kill him. So that's why usually Reapers don't work out too well, but it got it out quickly enough. WhiteRa didn't have his mothership core out early enough. There was a Stalker, but that's not quite what he needed to deal with that Reaper. But in the end, the Reaper died anyway, got a little bit too greedy coming into the natural base and got smashed in the face. So Stargate on the way. There is a Oracle being pushed on out here, so we'll have to see what WhiteRa is planning on doing with that guy. What is going around here? Mothership core patrolling around. And this base just up and running. The Terran player is getting a Cyclone though. Hey, Cyclone on the way. First unit out of that factory, and boop, there it is. Oh, Cyclone, you're such a fun unit. Little flashlight on your front. Look at that. Doop, 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 doop. Doop, doop, doop. Is it being aggressive? Oh my goodness, this is an aggressive Cyclone all by its lonesome. So Cyclones have basic attacks. Typhoon missile pods does 18 damage over range of 5. Weapon speeds 0.71. But the important thing with the Cyclone is this. The lock-on ability locks the Cyclone's weapons on the target unit, dealing 400 damage over 14 seconds to ground targets and 400 damage over 14 seconds to flying targets. Arm and is it extra damage to armored? It is not. So the Magfield Accelerator does increase Cyclone lock-on damage, but it can move while attacking and has pretty good range. as well. The Oracle came in and did get 7 kills there. Cyclone wanted to deal with that, but the Oracle was able to get a ton of kills off. The Liberator, not much to do, able to do much of anything at all, unfortunately. Can't take down 2 Stalkers by its lonesome. Can handle 1 fairly well, but we will have to see. Taking shots from the Mothership Core as well, and killing the Mothership Core might be nice, but the Photon Overcharge, yeah, I don't want to get in there at all. Not even a tiny bit. A drop coming on up as well for MouLou. And yep, dropping Marines right behind this mineral line. Going to go to town on these workers, killing 1 probe before WhiteRa, 2 probes before WhiteRa recognizes it, going after this pylon to depower the Twilight Council. And this Gateway Oracle running for its life as well, trying to get some harassment out. Taking some shots from Lock on here. The Cyclone able to get this Oracle. Look at this. Does get the kill. The drop back here is killing. Are they going to get another one? Canceling another pylon there. WhiteRa forced to cancel the pylon, and the medevac heads on back home. Pretty happy with itself at this point. Lowering onto the low ground there, unloading onto the low ground. Nothing much to heal up at all. Both players kind of sitting back. Cyclone being aggressive once more. And a carrier on the way for WhiteRa at the 5-minute mark. 5-minute carriers, WhiteRa. You magnificent. I'm going to say things. This is a family-friendly channel, so I'm not. Magnificent, magnificent play from WhiteRa. Carrier heading on out. These Marines might try to kill it, backing on out as the carrier only has 5 interceptors now, which might be enough to kill these Marines, but if they have stim and with the medevac healing, maybe not. Pretty darn close, though. That Cyclone headed on home with 5 hit points. Does have 2 kills. It's considered a recruit. The Cyclone play continues for our friend MouLou here. More Cyclones in production, as well as stim, as well as infantry weapons. Level 1 here. And nope, the carrier able to kill these Marines because they're not focusing on the carrier itself. They're going after interceptors, unfortunately. And they get the Mothership Core. The Cyclones kill the Mothership Core. Huge, huge pickup there, but they get caught by these Stalkers and focused down. Is this one going to escape? No, it gets trapped a little bit. The pathing ends up killing it. Holding on to the Selnog Watchtower is a very, very brave and lonely probe, saying, I'm just a little probe hanging out. Please don't kill me. I'm a nice guy. Or carrier heading out on its own for WhiteRa. More pushing here. Another Cyclone dies. The Cyclone used to do extra damage to armored, didn't it? I feel like it did. Maybe not. Marines and Marauders stutter stepping forward, though. Cyclone using its DPS ability here. The carrier flies right on into a missile turret, though. Get out of the range of that turret. There you go, WhiteRa. Getting out of the range of the turret. The Cyclone SCVs are healing the missile turret. Pushing in again. MouLou is just insane right now. Continuing with this aggression. They want to kill that pylon for some reason. There are Dark Templar in, though. They take out the Cyclone. A scan comes up. It's a little bit too late. The entire army is decimated for the Terran player. And finally, all the interceptors are cleaned up and taken care of. I believe that was the launch interceptor's ability. The release interceptors launches all interceptors at a target location with 43-second time life, and they remain at the target until they expire or they die. So you'll notice the carrier was far away when these interceptors were trying to take stuff down. That's because the release interceptor's ability was used. So special tactics here from WhiteRa in the very first game of his that I cast. I'm very excited about this. I honestly chose this cast at random. I didn't know what was going to be in it, but I'm so happy to see it is carriers, it is Cyclones, it is all the fun stuff that you want to see in a TVP match. The carriers trying to set up that harass, trying to maybe play like they're liberators. They want to get that missile turret very, very quickly. And nope, not quite able to do it, though. This missile turret, on the other hand, is not being repaired and will die. 2 turrets are being constructed. That might not happen either. Marines coming in, killing interceptors. Again, that's not what you want to do. Taking direct hits, though, from that missile turret was the carrier for just a second. MouLou, kill the carrier all by your lonesome. Genius person. Okay, the interceptors are dead. The carriers are forced to retreat, trying to lift up and drop down on the low ground to kill. No, just focus the carriers. Dude, MouLou, have you never seen carriers before? Is this actually gonna work, though? No, the medevac ends up dead. There we go. See how much more effective it is when you actually focus on the carrier instead of the interceptors. Come on, man. All right, I think he's learned his lesson. He's gonna do that from now on. He apologizes for the inconvenience he has caused the viewers. But anyway, Zealot Legs on the way for WhiteRa, continuing to make carriers because he is an awesome, awesome person. Forge on the way at the same time. The Terran player is working on more Cyclones, more Marines, more Marauders, more upgrades for those bio units. Resources lost tab shows 2,600 minerals lost. For the Protoss player, 800 gas, 3,000 minerals, and 1,000 gas lost for the Terran. Boop, boop. moving on back out. So fairly decent sized army here. I mean, considering how much attrition we've seen so far in this game, I don't know how much it is. Moving on up, stimming forward and trying to attack these zealots. They're taking a lot of damage. Cyclone ends up dead. Cyclones are probably better in the back. If I had to say, Archon does get melted there. The zealots are still alive. Dark Templar are in here as well. I'm not sure that MouLou recognizes this at all as he tries to retreat. The Dark Templar, though, are relentless. They're going to chase this bio ball down. They're very low on health. They can't really stim again without overstimming. Dark Templar slash almost kills the Marauder. There are turrets here, which allows detection onto the Dark Templar, and WhiteRa moves back on home. So right now it is 64 to 61 total Harvester supply in favor of the Protoss player, rather. 116 to 109 supply overall for the Protoss. This base is up and running for WhiteRa. This is his 4th. Terran is on 3 bases of his own, still being aggressive with the Cyclones and the Marines and the Marauders and a Widowmine in here. Just for good measure, a single medevac for healing. Maybe I want to see more medevacs from MouLou, but hard to say at this point. Storm being researched, a mothership. Mothership core being morphed into a mothership right now, ladies and gentlemen, and there it is. Mothership can do everything the mothership core can do, but can also cloak all the units below it. Pushing forward, and there's the mothership. Cannot see these units to kill them unless he scans. Widowmine shot hits something there. Zealots, I think the army is just too big for WhiteRa. He is making a stand with that mothership core, slowly and inexorably pushing towards the Terran base, trying to stutter step backward and kill these Zealots. The Zealots are chewing up so many shots, and a medevac does fall to the Stalker there. Widowmine at the front door says, I can handle this all on my lonesome, but no. Definitely not. Widowmine might get some shots of returning army units. WhiteRa knows about that. No, he's just going to send a Zealot down instead to sacrifice itself. 2 storms to actually kill a Widowmine. I thought it was just 1. Oh, whiffing, forcing WhiteRa to waste storms here. And then just burrowing once again. Isn't there an observer? Did the observer die to Widowmines? Where's the observer? There's not an observer for WhiteRa. That's pretty darn funny. Here comes another push, moving on in once again, scanning, but not really happy about the place here. Again, all of these Zealots with their armor, +1 armor has been researched, which means they have +2, which means they absorb this damage like it's going out of style. So the Widowmine still getting kills, up to 6 kills. That's a corporal. Widowmine 4th base coming up for MouLou here. And can WhiteRa kill it? No, WhiteRa wants to go back home. Is retreating, repositioning just a little bit here. Widowmine's still in a weird place. WhiteRa, you have an observer. There you go. There it is. Coming right on in from the main base saying, hey guys, here's that Widowmine. The Widowmine wants to kill some stuff before it dies, though. I think it has a bucket list, and on its bucket list is kill probes. Is it going to get it? And yes, it gets 3 more kills, up to 8 on that corporal. Maybe that was just 2 more kills, so my math is wrong. Pylon being popped on up here. Observer running over to tattle on this Widowmine saying, hey teacher, there's a Widowmine in the mineral lines. Push for your drop from MouLou. Why are you landing here? I don't understand. Small group of Marines Marauders coming over this way. They probably get destroyed by this army. They are a distraction, I think. They're trying to kill these Zealots. They haven't really been able to kill the Zealots at any point so far in this match to start actually going after the Archons and the Stalkers. It's kind of funny. But desperately stimming back, stimming forward. This is a planetary fortress. That helps just a little bit. I don't know that WhiteRa cares, though. The army moving around to the front door instead of dropping in the main. I'm not sure what the idea is at this point. Storm on top of all of the Marauders. Repair going down on the planetary. Planetary is up to 1. Amazing kill there. A small push of Marines, Marauders, Widowmines, and medevacs coming on in here to what is officially the 3rd base. And actually, there's nothing here to defend against it. Probes are dying. Marines and Marauders are forced to retreat and run home. It is trading a base for a base. This Nexus is going to fall. This planetary fortress is likely going to fall. More storms, ghosts dying, Marauders trying to kill what they can here. Planetary fortress up to 4 kills. There are only 3 SCVs repairing it somehow. Planetary still alive, and then it does fall. And all the workers with it. Nexus dies at the same time for WhiteRa. Coming on in. Dark Templar are here. It needs a scan so bad. Scan. Recognize there are DTs here. The Marines and the Marauders just going after probes. Instead, right now, it's 43 to 56 total Harvesters. The Terran player is ahead at this point. Just needs to pick up and run, I think, at this point. He doesn't really want to stand in here with Dark Templar, does he? There's another attack, however, at the front door here from WhiteRa. Not having any trouble at all here. Mothership Core has 6 kills of her own. Widow Mines are all that's left, trying to deal with that base at the same time. Small group of Marines and Marauders again shutting down the second base here for WhiteRa. The income cannot be very high for either of these players. At this point, Terran actually does have mineral income. Nothing for income right now for WhiteRa. It's going to be a very, very close match to be sure. Again, Mothership with 8 kills now. Scan, detecting that Dark Templar. I'm not sure if it really matters. There's just so much DPS here. Yes, picks up liftoff. Carriers, the MVPs of this match, 23 kills, 13 kills. Ends up dead. This base is still alive. Nope, not anymore. There are zealots down here. They've laid waste to this mineral line and also taking care of that missile turret at the same time. Pushing in here. Some stalkers did get left behind. Was that a recall? It was a recall. Recalled some of the units back, but that's it. MouLou calls the GG is defeated and WhiteRa is victorious. So hey, incredible back and forth action there. I loved the decision making by MouLou to be aggressive with Cyclones. It worked fairly well, and the multi-pronged attacks were fantastic at the same time. He just didn't have an answer for those carriers. I mean, he tried to make the Marines work, but the Marine count, I don't know if that was ever all that high. Units lost tab shows, okay, I guess 96 Marines died during this game. Okay, I suppose there were more than I thought. I think maybe Vikings would have been a better answer to deal with the Mothership as well as the carriers themselves. He had time while WhiteRa was pushing down this left side to actually make a whole bunch of Vikings and possibly deal with the air army, which was really what was causing him trouble, that and the storms. But in the end, just fantastic match. Thanks again to WhiteRa for submitting that to me. I'm going to try to maybe find a loss eventually here to cast because I don't think he wins all his games. But regardless, thank you so much for watching today. This has been FalconPaladin with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. Hey, the retail's coming out soon enough. Everybody will be able to play on November 10th. So awesome, awesome news. All right, you can catch me on Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook, all at /FalconPaladin. Please hit that like button and that subscribe if you like WhiteRa cast and you want to see more of those. And that's about it. Until next time, as always, you take care of yourself.